Don't let them steal your joy on this good-looking Wednesday morning. It's Wednesday, the 15th day of May. Good morning, Grenada. Good morning to the world. Welcome to Good Morning, Grenada for today. It's a wonderful day. Let today be the best day of the rest of your life. And tomorrow you aim for the same thing, yeah? How are you doing, Grenada? Caracupidi like the rest of the world. All the Grenadians out there in the diaspora, good morning to you. How are you doing?
It's blessing in abundance. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh, yes, it will be.
Blessings after blessings. Don't let anybody steal your joy this morning, all right? Nice. Good morning, Pastor Laurie Dominic and the First Family of the Wester Hall New Testament Church of God. Good morning. The entire congregation, good morning to you. Brother Finn, good morning to you. How you doing, bro? You and the family, all you good? How's Lyndon? Everybody good? Nice. The Digans family, good morning. Yolan Swan says, good morning. Blessings to you, Mr. Joseph, and to all your loyal listeners. Yulin Alexander, good morning, Gordon. Good morning to everyone. Blessings to all on this wonderful Wednesday. Have a great, safe day, everyone. Monica Meros Williams says, a pleasant good morning, Mr. Joseph. Blessings, everyone. Same to you, my dear. Yulin says it's a very beautiful on the outside this morning. Yes. Mildred Smith, how are you doing this morning? Nice. Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful Grenada. Oh, how I love and miss my country. We'll be back soon. Mr. Innocent, good morning. Getting some wet weather today in the New York area. Send some for us. We could do with some rain, boy. Oh, gum. Nice. Hope everybody doing fine, though. Yeah, hope everybody had a wonderful night. It's 24 minutes on to 7 o'clock. We continue with our Hills and Valley Health tip for today. Remember, if the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have the quiz on Friday. Yeah, there are some folks who are claiming that they have not received their prize as yet, so I'm going to follow up on that with Joseph Cador and the folks from Hills and Valley. We continue our tips on treating allergies this morning, and it says saline sinus rinse. This is helpful for relieving hay fever caused by environmental allergies. Medicines like antihistamines, anti-inflammatories, and decongestants help relieve symptoms. They may present as nasal drops or sprays, tablets, or syrups. Anti-inflammatory creams can help relieve rashes and itches of the skin. Emergency epinephrine or EpiPen, or the EpiPen. All right. Persons with a history of severe life-threatening allergic reactions may carry an EpiPen with them. It is important to know how and when to use your emergency medicine. All right, so those have been your health tips for this morning. We continued our look on allergies and allergic reactions. Yep, good morning, Petlin. How you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah, good, nice. The folks inside of Munich and surrounding areas, good morning. It's time for the word of the day. And the word of the day today, it is a verb, it is a doing word, it is an action word. And while on that, I want to say good morning and all the best to all those of you doing the CPEA exam today. All right, reaching out and say good morning to my good little friend, Cruz's daughter up there in Apreto. She's doing it today. And all those of you who are doing the CPEA today, go on out, be focused, read through your paper quickly. As you get the paper and they tell you, yes, start, you go through it and you identify the questions that you are certain about, so you tackle them quickly. And then those that are a little more challenging, you come back and work on them, all right? Don't be bothered with those that are too tricky in the first instance. You do those that you can do off the bat like this, those that you know the answers to quickly, you get them off the way, and then you'll have more time to spend doing the challenging ones, all right? There are a number of schools that are engaged in the online platform for the exam today. Well, I wish you all the best. Yeah. The word of the day today is the word win. W-A-N-E. Win. Now, to win is to become smaller or less, or in other words, to decrease in size, extent, or degree. Win. W-A-N-E. Yeah. Sounds like a name, right? Morning, my good friend, brother Wayne Maxwin. How you doing, Papi? And the Maxwin family, good morning, good morning. Pastor George Fletcher and family and the congregation of the Birch Grove New Testament Church of God, good morning. Auntie, good morning to you and Stella and the Balwant family and all the wonderful folks inside of Castine. Here's how we can use the word win in a sentence. The national scandal caused her popularity to win or to decrease, to get smaller. You understand? Yeah, the national scandal, you know, the way people looked at her, it's, you know, mine does win every now and then. You know, yeah, nice. Good morning, Kitty Cat and Ariel and Alwyn and Debbie and family and Ryan and Nikita Sanderson, the entire Sanderson family, the McQueen family, the folks at McQueen Service Station, good morning. Latant and Pomrose, Mount Agnes, good morning. Eggies, I hope you deliver the goods, all right? Yeah. I ain't want Kem beating up on me. Drop the thing for the lady, all right? Nice. Nonetheless, Nadisha, it's your time. Good morning to you and the folks inside of Cafe in St. Andrew. The thought of the day: find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them and it will change your life. Yeah. Do not hang around or do not embrace folks who always try to belittle you and make you feel less of a person than you are. Always bruising your ego and making you feel bad about yourself, trying to make you feel inferior about yourself. These are not the people to hang around at all. Yeah, no man is an island. We all, you know, we all depend on other people at some point in time. Sometimes relationships go sour, and then if you can mend them, you mend them. If you can't, you make the necessary adjustments and you move on. But do not hang around people who continuously belittle you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Good morning to Sylvia and Hicklin Nayak out there in Paraclete in St. Andrew. Mr. Michael Pierre, former Speaker of the House. Good morning to you and the entire family. Paraclete, good morning. Ashley Cummings and family. Brady and the guys. The folks inside of Mount Horn. Stalin Romaine and family. Kozo, how you doing? Nice, nice, nice. So what's buzzing this morning? Let's see what's buzzing quickly. Right, Grenada joins the rest of the world in observing International Family Day today. Those of you who have a immediate family around you, cherish it, yeah? It can get very overwhelming at times and boring and lonely if you're like me living alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes it gets to you. So if you have an active family in your embrace, keep them close, keep them good. Celebrate Family Day today, International Family Day. In the region, we have that Jamaican artist George Nook says musicians are culpable for the uptick in school violence, well, violence as a whole. You know, when you listen to some of the lyrics of the song, some of the youngsters, they're not realizing that it's a business these guys are doing. And 99.9% of the time, the lyrics that they have in the song, the lyrics that they portray, they live far from that. They're just singing what they think the public wants to hear that will make them more marketable. So George Nooks, he kicked up against that in a Mother's Day concert in Jamaica. Internationally, the European Union to encourage influencers to have a positive impact. Yeah, people who are in the social media, you got to know your role, you understand, and use it positively. In sports, Trinidad and Tobago is set to earn approximately $200 million during the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. So those are the buzzing stories this morning. We'll have more in our newscast. Let's see who's on the platform. Mr. Innocent, did Pastor got his cow? Yes, he did. He did. Michelle Bernard, good morning. Hermione, good morning to you. Anna Williams, good morning. Cameron Andrew, good morning. My colleagues, them. Metro, Meda, Carl, no foul. Metro, me con. You live all the con partners. Anything that disturbs your peace of mind is not worth it. Know when to walk. Some people come in your life for a reason and some for a season. That is so correct. Ramian says that. All right. Good morning. Please shout out my 6-year-old daughter, Donica James, who has to listen to your program before school every morning. Donica, good morning. Where is Donica from? All right, Donica, you have to link up. Let's go have a juice or a smoothie one of these days. All right, we'll develop a fan club. But folks, it's time for us to wrap up this first segment. We've got to head into the AM edition of News, Sports. On those of you who are on the television platform, we have a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Thank you very much. Morning, I'm not back, not getting the station. Oh, you're back. That's Petlin. So, all right, you're the second person that's telling us that. It seems as though we do have a transmitter problem. I'm going to have the technical guys work on it as soon as is possible. Folks, this is where we take the break. All right, we've got to do the AM edition of News, Sports, and the weather, then the conversation. We're having some guests with us this morning, so we look forward to the engagement. Nawasa will be with us this morning.
Thanks for joining us. 382 students from 21 schools will be sitting the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment through e-testing at designated centers. Here's the report.
Officials from the Ministry of Education were out Tuesday visiting centers across the island in a bid to ensure everything is in place for the start of the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, the CPEA, external examination on Wednesday. The CPEA external assessment for 2024 commences at 9 a.m. and will be conducted in 59 centers throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. 382 students from 21 schools will be sitting the examination through e-testing online, as designated centers identified are Dover, Hillsborough, Haverville, and Mount Pleasant Government Schools in Carriacou, and Our Lady of the Rosary Catholic School, Montrose SDA Primary, Riverside Government, the Sacred Heart Catholic, Paraclete Government, Telescope Government, Corinth Government, Woburn Methodist and Sacred Heart Catholic, St. Louis RC Girls, Montmorris Anglican, Concord Government, St. Peter's Catholic, and Nativity Catholic Schools on the mainland. 1,707 students comprising of 845 males and 862 females from 72 schools across the island are registered for the assessment. This is down from last year's figure of 1,877 students, 1,028 males and 849 females. Primary school students who are 11 years old or who will be 11 years old by September 1st, 2024 are eligible to write the exam. The external examination will consist of 4 multiple choice papers in the following areas: mathematics 50 items, language arts 50 items, science 50 items, and social studies 50 items. The Ministry of Education has indicated that in 2024 only the top 200 students will be awarded their first choice, subject to the availability of space, and students will not be ranked. Students are reminded that no cell phones, electronic calculators, or any other electronic devices will be allowed at the examination centers. Students sitting the exam at the e-testing centers will be provided with computers. Candidates are also reminded to bring along 3B or 2B pencils to answer their multiple choice questions. It is anticipated that all students will finish the examination by 12:15 p.m. each day. Crystalina John, GBN News.
Well, in a concerted effort to address the pressing challenges posed by climate change, the Grenada Climate Resilient Water Sector GCRUISE project, in collaboration with the Media Workers Association of Grenada, has organized a two-day training workshop at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. Here's all we can tell you. The workshop aims to equip participants with the knowledge and tools to tackle climate change and its implications for Grenada. My colleague Nisha Peters attended the workshop and has this report.
GCRUISE, known for its relentless pursuit to a climate-resilient water supply system in Grenada, is once again taking proactive steps to address the climate crisis. The workshop serves as a platform for stakeholders to explore strategies and initiatives aimed at writing more insightful news articles. Facilitated by communication specialist Indy McLyman Lafayette, says the workshop is highly interactive, fostering meaningful discussions and knowledge exchange among participants.
Primarily, we want to ensure that journalists have the capacity to write more critical stories around climate change. So we are looking at sources where they go for information, and some of those resource persons were here in the form of GCRUISE and NAWASA, and also working with civil society groups, because it has to be a cultivating of sources and partnerships. So highlighting some of the work that civil society groups and the young people are doing where climate change is concerned.
Reflecting on the significance of the workshop, Jamila Lewis, NAWASA's communication supervisor, expressed her enthusiasm for being part of the initiative. Lewis reiterated the importance of effective communication in raising awareness and mobilizing support for climate resilience efforts in Grenada.
At the end of the day, we all are partners in this. If NAWASA speaks a story and we don't have the media to relay the story to the public through the various media outlets, then we are not really achieving what it is we are about in terms of public awareness. So I was very happy to have the media here with us today, and we were able to speak to them about our challenges we are facing, how they themselves within their own homes can conserve, manage, and have storage facilities available, and how they can use their medium as well to get it out to the public.
Jared Joseph, president of the Media Workers Association, shared his optimism about the workshop's potential to inspire impactful storytelling around climate change issues.
So I hope my colleagues taking everything and we could see some powerful stories being developed, being shared, as we educate the entire nation as to how can we mitigate, how can we adapt, especially as to what has been highlighted before by Ms. Swiss in terms of what's going on in Grenada currently with drought. How can we better ourselves in terms of saving water? How can we educate the entire population in terms of how to save water? How can we prepare for the future?
As the workshop progresses, participants are actively engaged with topics ranging from climate science and adaptation strategies tailored to Grenada's context. With the final day of the workshop scheduled for Wednesday, expectations are high for the culmination of fruitful discussions and the emergence of concrete action plans to address climate change challenges in Grenada. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Assisting young people who are less fortunate to fulfill their dreams has always been a goal for Grenadian Salisha Alad Blessdale. Well, this has become a reality through her recently established non-profit organization. More on this Renapet Thomas report.
Once and often living in what was called the Sopadilla Home for Children in Wester Hall, St. David, Salisha Alad Blessdale was given an opportunity to further her education in the United States by a U.S. couple who later adopted her. Now the holder of a PhD, Salisha's lifelong dream of giving other disadvantaged youth in Grenada the opportunity for a proper education is coming true through her foundation. The Sarah Foundation, named after Salisha's adopted mother, was launched virtually this week with the aim of increasing high school graduation rates by 10% in 5 years, college enrollment and completion rates by 20% in a decade, and increasing vocational training and employment with the strategic aim of reducing the current youth poverty rate by 5% in Grenada. Salisha Alad Bazadel, founder of the Sarah's Foundation, says while the foundation is registered in the U.S., the NGO has already embarked on 3 projects that will benefit youth in Grenada.
In terms of our programs, we do have 3 major programs that are happening this year. So we have a back-to-school supply launch, which we are supporting 2 secondary schools on the island. This is our first year. We plan to support more than 2 schools eventually. But for this year, our goal is to supply 2 of those secondary schools 200 backpacks that are pre-filled each, so a total of 400 backpacks. Our other program is a health aid program. It's called the Dr. SAB Health Aid, and we are specifically supporting children in the orphanages, so in the homes. So we are currently in partnerships with the Bel Air Home and the Queen Elizabeth Home. So we have been working with them to finding out the specific resources that they need, and we are in the process of raising funds and gathering the specific materials that each of those homes are in need. Our final program is the Youth Empowerment Program. This is one of our smaller programs for this year. However, we anticipate that it would grow. So for this program, we are donating or supporting school graduation. So we'll be donating 3 graduation awards to one of the secondary schools on the island. And again, this is just our first year. We are going to grow and provide to more schools and to support more students.
Funding for the project and the operation of the foundation will be generated through grants and donations. Equipped with experts in various fields based in the U.S. and Grenada, beneficiaries will also be provided with psychosocial support, among other services, says Chief Operation Officer Raquel Forbes.
I believe our success as a ministry is not only going to speak to the youth that are at the top, at the middle, but even those who find themselves at the bottom of the ladder and they feel as though that they are struggling and that they are weak and that they really need the kind and type of assistance from persons who really care about the development of youth to really lift them up. So we have sought the technical assistance of a youth organization in the region to assist us in developing a strategy to be able to reach underserved youth, because we want to go about doing so in a very surgical way, a very pragmatic way as well.
The foundation will also be partnered with the Ministry of Youth to assist with various projects. Minister for Youth Jonathan Lacrette, in his remarks at the launch of the foundation, spoke of some of his ministry's plans.
As a licensed mastered social worker and a behavioral health counselor, I have first-hand experience in the impact of social determinants of health on people's quality of life. Therefore, I will be assessing the children's access to quality health care, safety in their environment, and support systems at home and in the community. I will also be looking at their economic stability, including transportation, food, school supplies, and access to technology. But by providing children with these basic needs, we can put them on a level playing field and give them the opportunity to succeed. I am committed to implementing strategies that will help us meet our objectives, and I am confident that together we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of Grenada's youth.
Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
Other news, the new home for the headquarters of the Royal Grenada Police Force, which is being retrofitted, is expected to be handed over next month. More in this report.
The old cable and wireless building on the Carronade is undergoing significant transformation as it becomes the new headquarters for the Royal Grenada Police Force. The building, which has been out of commission for a few years, is now being retrofitted by D&N Detail Finishing, a construction company that began work in February. Dwight Sampson, operations manager at D&N Details Finishing, shared details during a recent interview about the progress and challenges stages of the project. Initially planned to be a short-term endeavor, the scope of work expanded due to unforeseen obstacles encountered along the way.
Upstairs of the building, the entire covering of the building, we were charged to do the roof. So to take off the old roof and to install new, because as I said before, leaking was an issue with the building. Now, in the process of doing that, we encountered the challenge of termites. So the entire roof of the building was infested with termites. So while we were just supposed to take off the galvanized and replace the galvanized, or maybe whatever material in between our rotten, we now had to do the entire wooden frame of the roof over. So we started in February. The project was supposed to last 4 to 6 months. But because it's midway, we encountered those difficulties. We now have to go back to the drawing board and, get additional funding to redo the entire roof.
The operations manager also spoke of work that is being done on the ground floor of the building.
So much of a difficulty. One of the things that we are having challenges was sourcing materials. Because the building has been sectionized, the sections will become office space for the various departments of the force. There are different community relations and so on, CID and so on. So because of that, we had to sectionize the building in order to make sure that we have adequate space. So that's downstairs.
Despite the challenges, Sampson said his team has been dedicated, working tirelessly, including overtime, to ensure the timely completion of the project.
I have been pushing, we've been doing a lot of overtime, longer hours and so on, to try and get the project done as soon as possible. But we're looking to complete scope of work by at least mid to end of June. The company, we are taking the opportunity to hire young men, the less disadvantaged young men, or those that, generally would be in the blocks and so on and so forth. We call them and we actually give them an opportunity to work. What we try to do here at DNN is that we try to have the skilled men, train some of the younger ones so that we can develop them on the job. So a lot of that is happening here.
The renovation of the old Cable and Wireless building into the new RGPF headquarters will provide a central and updated facility for the police force to serve the community effectively. Rena B. Thomas, GBN News.
Police have arrested and charged Yakuba Toussaint, a 39-year-old farmer of River Sally, St. Patrick, and Aminata Harry, a 30-year-old unemployed of River Road, St. George, in connection with Sunday's shooting incident at River Sally, St. Patrick. Toussaint was charged with the offenses of possession of firearm, possession of ammunition, and causing public terror, while Harry was charged with the offense of obstruction. Both made their appearance at the Guelph Magistrates Court on Tuesday and were remanded to His Majesty's prisons. They are scheduled to appear at the Sautères Magistrates Court on Monday, June 3, 2024. Police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have arrested and charged 3 Grenadians in connection with drug trafficking offenses. Romario MacDonald, a 79-year-old fisherman, Raheem Rouge, a 19-year-old laborer, both from Grenada, and Vincent Edwards, a 43-year-old fisherman of Grenada, Petit Bordel, were arrested on May 9 at Petit Bordel. The accused are charged with possession of 13,620 grams of cannabis. They allegedly possessed this controlled drug with the intention to supply it to another person and for the purpose of trafficking. The trio appeared before the serious offense court on Monday. Vincent Edwards pleaded guilty to both offenses, while MacDonald and Rouge pleaded not guilty. Now, Rastafarians and others who attended the first in a series of public consultations on the marijuana industry shared a variety of views on the way forward, including legalization and plans for development. This initial session at the Cuthbert Peters Park, organized by the Working Committee for the Decriminalization and Legalization of Marijuana, specifically catered to the Rastafarian movement, which has been given special consideration due to their religious and sacramental use of the hub. Here are some of the views expressed.
With respect to the use of cannabis for sacramental and religious reasons. That would include unlimited cultivation of cannabis for that purpose. And it is usually done around the tabernacle. That's their place of worship. And then we also recommend that there be sacramental dispensaries set up so that the brethren, the members of the group would be ticketed, the producers of the sacramental herb, and they would market it to their members.
The meeting was very positive, and a lot of positive feedback, a lot of positive impact on the meeting. We come a long way. Right now the Grenada government is taking the legalization of cannabis and the decriminalization of cannabis very seriously.
What is happening here today, it is a very important, movement. Many of the things that have been spoken about from a long time, I could see that we are making progress today.
The meeting was a successful meeting. Everything that was being explained, it was being clarified and simplified, right? And we have to abide with whatever opportunities we get at this present moment from the government that is there, because it's not they make the law, right? And some of them was trying to behave in a certain manner that the government was putting pressure on this and pressure on that. Right? I will not abide in that.
All right, so the consultation process forms part of a broader effort by the Grenada government to engage various stakeholders in shaping a comprehensive framework for the marijuana industry. Additional meetings are scheduled to take place in Grenville, St. Andrew, and on the sister isle of Carriacou in the coming weeks to gather input from more community members, ensuring a diverse range of perspectives is considered in the policy-making process. Marion Pre-Primary School is in the spotlight this evening. It's time for GB&I, so stay with us.
Tonight's ISO submission features some of the nation's children. The staff and students of the Marion Pre-Primary School observed their career day last Thursday, with students portraying the career paths they intend to take, including doctors, policemen, nurses, chefs, a dancer, a teacher, and a farmer. The future looks bright. Let's continue to encourage them. We thank our citizen journalists for that submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for Grenada to laugh again. Heritage Theatre presents Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024, Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, 23rd June at the Trade Center in Grandance, and on Sunday, 30th June at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime, 7 p.m. every time, featuring some of Grenada's best ambassadors of comedy: Robert White, Dillion Walters, Kareem Alexis, Dale Bowler, and other outstanding comedic performances, all coming to knock you off your seats with laughter. Get your tickets now. Bring out the entire family. Tickets are $60 and available at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandance, Gittins Health and Wellness at all outlets, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, downtown St. George's, Calico Supermarket, Grenville and Sutairs, St. David's Pharmacy, and Go to Fet. It's time for Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024.
GRENDEC Community Partnership Initiative.
The theme for the science fair is water and energy strategies, the key to sustainable development. It encourages students, it promotes caring for the environment, sustainable development, and we want the students to display practical activities and real-life situations of what is really going on out in their environment. And we look forward to companies like Grenada continuing to see the relevance and significance of something like a national science fair.
Grenada, energizing our community.
From the fertile heart of Grenada to the far reaches of the globe, Ram's Supermarket brings together the best of both worlds. Savor the freshest, locally sourced produce from our trusted Grenadian farmers and explore a curated selection of top-quality international favorites. Experience a shopping journey where warmth meets a world of flavors and affordability meets premium quality. At Rams, we welcome everyone to discover the joy of global and local culinary delights. Nestled in Sugar Mill, Grand Anse, we are open all week to offer you a taste of home and beyond. Rams Supermarket, where our family, community, and the world come together. We are the good food people.
Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wiring accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grand Anse, St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
A call to protect our children. Innocent lives brought into this world. Fruits of the womb, boys and girls. Young lives born into families, longing to be loved and protected by society. Meanwhile, there are persons who are focused on abusing children, ravaging their innocence, pretending to be their friend, appearing to be genuine and a source of protection. They are the same ones who are armed with deception. These wolves in sheep clothing must be exposed. A lot are walking around and nobody knows. It's about time that these abusers feel uncomfortable in society, for the things they do to children is a disgrace to humanity. Our children's cry of no, help, seems to fall on deaf ears. Abusers still ravage them despite the painful tears. There are children who have been abused for many years by people they know. It's like no one cares. Can we not hear the screams of our children as predators continue to use and abuse them? So many died, gone too soon, should have been here to glow and bloom. Together, let's stamp abuse out of this land. As a united force, yes, we can. Wipe away the tears from our children's eyes as we create a society that is free to thrive. I call on all of society. Let us take a stand, for the power of change is in our hands. Make abuse of children a thing of the past, a society where children are free at last.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-47. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Okay, good morning, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the conversation this morning. As I told you, we have a very busy morning here. I'm joined in the studio by a goodly gentleman, and you can look at his facial, portrayal and see that he's a man of the brain and the mind. He is the coordinator for chess in the nation's schools. I will not attempt to pronounce that name, so you'd have to tell us.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. My name is Kwabena Eben.
Kwabena Eben.
And today I wear the hat of the Grenada Chess Federation coordinator for chess in schools and communities.
Okay, that's rather interesting, because not so long ago I understand that some of our players went over to St. Vincent and did well in chess.
Right, yes. Our first invitation to St. Vincent, they had their first invitational chess in the region, and a team of 5 young Grenadians went across there, and we did very well. We won the tournament, and surprisingly, but yet we did put in the work.
Chess is a very, very good game for the brain.
It's perhaps the best.
Yes.
It's perhaps the best game that the human mind has invented in its sophistication and its representation of life. And since 2019, the Grenada Chess Federation is trying to bring chess nationwide to Grenada. And we have done several things like chess camps every year. We have a chess camp at GBSS. We have chess in clubs created in schools. We had a prison tournament. In fact, the first tournament we took part online was with the prisoners. We have FIDE have an initiative for chess for prisoners.
Okay.
Because chess helps so much in social control and mental organization and in your general deportment in your life.
Okay. So what has been the response from the nation's students to chess?
Well, the response has been great. In fact, we're unable to meet demands in terms of creating chess clubs in schools. We have a shortage of chessboards. We need chessboards, and the standard chessboard, 3.5-inch king, and with a mat that could be easily foldable and transportable. We have a shortage of this because we want to go to schools, visit them in assemblies, present the chess, and leave 2 chess sets with each school. But so far, we're yet to secure more chessboards, so that we can continue this.
Well, based on a conversation I had yesterday morning with Mr. Cullen Peters, the coordinator of sports in the ministry, yes. There seems to be a budget allocated for sports, and it seems to be a good budget, so maybe you can access some funds.
Mr. Cullen Peters, yes, definitely we should do this. And it's long term, it's not just in the short term, in the long term. We have a donation of some chess sets from FIDE for the tournament, about 50 chess sets, and that will go into our pool. And chess sets in Grenada is not easily obtainable in the shops. In fact, in 2010, there were no chess sets for sale in Grenada.
Why is that so?
Because, well, we're a thinking nation. Grenada is a thinking nation, and we should have thinking tools. But in the recent past, we've had an effort to shut down our thinking system, including shutting down our libraries and resources to affect. But that doesn't stop us from recovering and from developing our natural talent. You know, we're a thinking nation.
All right. So, as the coordinator, what is the approach you're using to engage the nation's students? That's the first question. And the second, is your campaign primarily for students, or are adults allowed to learn the game as well? Because I would love to learn to play chess.
We're open to everyone, and chess is a game where a 8-year-old could play against an 80-year-old, you know, and enjoy the game of chess. It's a psychological exploration on one level. It's mental development. It's exchanging ideas. It is looking at your opponent's strategies and coming up with your own, and to respect each other. There's a deep respect in the game of chess. Nobody jump up and shout "yeah" when a chess game is won, because you feel your opponent's pressure in playing the game, and you're having a exchange of the mind, and hence learning as an objective in chess, and fun learning is what we push the most for chess for anyone in any age, and it occupies your mind. It keeps you balanced through your old age. It helps you to organize your personal life, because the 6 principles of life are incorporated in the 6 different movements of chess, and the correlation, building relationships, overcoming the consequence of a decision that you make immediately.
Wow, it's a live game, man.
A live game, and not letting the emotions affect. Because if you feel good about a move, that's bad. If you feel bad about a move, that's bad. Your emotions should be in check, and your intelligence should flow through the game of chess. So it's an opportunity for practicing this and for developing the mind.
How resourceful is the ministry and Grenada on a whole, because chess is a kind of off game for us.
It is.
As a youngster growing up, my grandfather was very, very, very good in drafts.
Right.
I would sit down, I would stand up and look at him, and a gentleman in pearls called Mr. Percy, they would play draft for the day, and one game would last for hours. And there's some sort of synonymity with chess
and draft.
But they're different. I mean, Adam Andal is our local king in drafts, right? Although I beat him in a game once in the call center. Adam, you remember that, right? Yes. So, but how difficult is it, or will it be for you to go out and get chess on the move?
Well, compared to draft, all the pieces that have one move, except when you get a king, and the king can jump more squares, and you play on the black squares only, on the 100 squares. In chess, we have 64 squares. You play on the black and white, and there's 6 different types of move, including the draft move in chess. So it's just like a little more sophisticated
than the draft.
Yes.
Okay.
But the same principle of organizing, reading the game, planning strategies is the same principles, 6 times more.
Okay. Wow.
So it's in Grenada, relatively, I guess during the revolution era, we had a first introduction of chess on a nationwide level, but mainly chess has been hidden in Grenada. And now that it's coming out, people are gravitating, students especially, challenging the mind. They are gravitating towards it, and the ministry has given support. They've given the support. They've in terms of clearing the chessboards from FIDE donation, they've offered to waive the taxes and the duties. So they've given support, and we're looking for sponsors to come on board and give us support to actually acquire more boards to spread chess. And we figure at this time in our era, our young people could do with some mental organization,
definitely,
and control of the emotions.
Definitely. So for you as the coordinator, how challenging has it been for you? I mean, the way you speak, I can hear the passion coming out from you, emanating from you. How challenging is it?
It's challenging in terms of time. The time and resources, and because chess is new, to get people on board to support and sponsor. However, we have a team of dedicated chess enthusiasts in Grenada, led by our chairman, Ruggles Ferguson. There's Carl Glean, and there is Jay, and a few other people who really working voluntarily to make it happen.
Ruggles plays chess.
He plays chess. He's a great chess enthusiast, and he's looking to develop chess as a tool for our communities.
That's wonderful. That's remarkable. I would like to take the opportunity and wish you all the best with that drive. And I do hope that Carriacou and Petit Martinique are not left out.
No, we have plans for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and it's long term, and we're taking our time. And once resources come on board, then we could travel to Carriacou and set up chess there as well.
My final question from the ministry's standpoint, do you have resource personnel more than you who can actually go there and teach the chess?
We're looking to grow. In TAMCC, we have a chess club of young people who are being charmed into coming on board and to spreading chess. And as we develop and grow in chess, and we hope that this chess tournament on this weekend produces players who can represent Grenada at the 45th Chess Olympiad in September in Budapest. And that will be the first time Grenada is sending a team to Chess Olympics. And although we're young, we're very hopeful that this will do a lot towards spreading chess in Grenada and attracting sponsors and having a great chess movement in Grenada.
Well, checkmate.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You didn't know I know chess.
But we all have a little idea of chess or the languages in our culture a bit, you know.
Okay. Well, I want to wish you all the best, and I think it's a very, very noble initiative, especially in a time like now. If we can get chess flowing through Grenada, through the schools, which inadvertently would get into the communities.
Yes.
It could change the mindset of our people, especially our young folks.
Definitely, it could help.
There must be some sort of stimulant and motivation in there that will, get people to gravitate towards it.
Yes.
And then we can see a mental transformation.
Yes. So we're asking everyone to come on down on Saturday the 18th of May, 9 o'clock GBSS, 9 to 4 is game time. Come on down. Once you play chess, come and get involved. And this is the first ever. So it's a historic moment to be involved in chess. And thank you for everyone for supporting this.
Okay. And finally, Kwabena Amen. Tell me about this name. Tell me about this name. Tell me about this name.
Well, along many moons ago on my journey, I wanted to find out who I was and why I was here. And in researching the history of the body, the African, Asian, and European peoples of which this body is made up, I found that had I been born in West Africa, in an Ashanti family, I would have been named Kwabena.
Okay.
Okay. And Amen come from research in ancient Egypt, the first people that created civilization and language and organization of society. The name meaning the realization of who you truly are and why you're here.
Amen. All the best for your chess.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The pleasure is mine, and the GBN would always be accommodating to do as much exposure as you need as it relates to the growth and development of chess in Grenada.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And all the best.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Folks, we take a quick break. We'll be back. We have a promotion from Real Value IGA coming up, and then we have the folks from Nawasa. I know you are all anxious to talk to Nawasa this morning. Jamila and her team, they're already here. So we'll have the conversation continuing after these messages and that promotional break committed to Real Value IGA. We'll be back.
ready to witness the ultimate showdown of athleticism and adrenaline. The Whitsuntide Games are back, and they're bigger and better than ever before. Join us on Saturday, May 18th at the electrifying Kirani James Athletic Stadium. The action kicks off bright and early with the morning session starting at 9 a.m. sharp. Watch the best local and regional athletes go head-to-head in a battle for glory and supremacy. But wait, the excitement doesn't stop there. As the sun sets, the evening session ignites at 4 p.m., promising even more heart-pounding action and jaw-dropping performances. Secure your spot now. Finish line A, lower and upper, $30. Finish line B, lower and upper, $25. General admission, main stand, $20. Get them now at gotofed.com. Mark your calendars and be there to cheer on your favorites as they strive for victory at the Whitsuntide Games 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for Grenada to laugh again. Heritage Theatre presents Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024, Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, 23rd June at the Trade Center in Grandance, and on Sunday, 30th June at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime, 7 p.m. every time, featuring some of Grenada's best ambassadors of comedy: Robert White, Dillion Walters, Kareem Alexis, Dale Bola, and other outstanding comedic performances, all coming to knock you off your seats with laughter. Get your tickets now. Bring out the entire family. Tickets are $60 and available at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandance, Gittins Health and Wellness at all outlets, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, downtown St. George's, Calico Supermarket, Grenville and Sutairs, St. David's Pharmacy, and Go to Fed. It's time for Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024.
All right, good morning and welcome back. Quickly, we've got 29 minutes on to. I've got two other guests to join me. Mr. Kenny James, the principal of the Grenada Boys Secondary School. He's here to talk about reunion and getting some past students and so forth. And then I have the big one this morning, what everybody has been asking for. And Nawasa is here. So we just do this promotion for Real Value. Just need to let you know of the great savings that are on right now at Real Value. You've got the enriched bran flakes. It's was $14.25. It's now going at $11.60. You see, at $2.65. All right, yeah, that's the IGA brand flakes, 17.3 ounces. Okay, so it was $14.25. It's now $11.60. You're saving $2.65. Also, they've got the Nissin Top Ramen, the shrimp 6-pack. It was $14.75. It's now $9.50. So you're saving $5.25. Also, Duncan Hines Fudge Marble Cake Mix, 432 grams. It was $16.75. It's now $11.80. So you're saving $4.95. They've also got Quaker 100% natural whole grain old-fashioned oats, 1.19 kilograms. It was $39.75. It's now $26.90. You're saving $12.85. And trust me, this Quaker oats, that's my favorite. After Farin, of course, but Quaker is one of the old-time ones, right? Yes, original. Good. Prego Chunky Garden Combo, 673 grams. It was $20. It's now $10, so you're saving $10. Pearl Milling Company Original Pancake Syrup, 24 ounces. It was $29.50. It's now $19.95, so you're saving $9.55. Cheez-It White Cheddar Baked Snack Crackers, 351 grams. It was $27.53. It's now $19.15, so there's a saving of $8.38. Ocean Spray Cranberry Juice, 64 full ounces. It was $23.02. It's now $17.90, so you're saving $5.12. Pringles Pizza Potato Crisp, 158 grams. It was $14.50. It's now $11.25, so you're saving $3.25. Folks, I urge you to rush on down to Real Value IGA and take advantage of these great saving opportunities. All right, that's it for the Real Value promo this morning. We take a quick break and we'll be back with Mr. Kenny James from the GBSS. And welcome back. It's 26 minutes on to 8 o'clock. I'm joined by my good friend, good colleague, the good old school days, the good teaching days when teaching was fun.
Teaching is still fun, innocent.
No, man, not as when we did it in 1989 and 1990 and 91 and them time. It's no fun. The students have all the powers now, man. No fun anymore.
No, we're still having fun. We're still having fun. All right. Good.
Mr.
Fun.
James, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks me, for having me. Firstly, moving up to principal of GBSS, how has that transition been for you?
Ah, boy, a wonderful one. Challenging one, and I say wonderful from the perspective that, as I said to them, I am back home. GBSS is my alma mater.
Okay.
And so going back there in the position as principal and leader, to me is a great honor to actually give back to the institution that has contributed to my formative years.
Wow.
You know, I always say what I am today is because of GBSS.
And Mr. Ashby.
And Mr. Ashby, of course. You can't talk GBSS.
Without Victor.
Without Victor. The 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Mr. Ashby's name must be called.
Yeah. In the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so assuming that role of principal of the GBSS, I know it's a tasking responsibility, but you're committed to it, and I know you well. I know you will give it your best shot, and the effects have already been showing. All right, so I congratulate you on that. But there's an activity that you have coming up.
Oh yes, this Friday. Next year, please God, we will be celebrating 140 years as an institution.
Wow.
And we want to make this thing a big thing. Currently, we have an international alumni association where you have old boys from all over the world, Germany, Canada, England. There's also a grouping operating out of New York. Michael Bascom is part of that, a grouping operating out of Canada. But unfortunately, we have not had that structured grouping, organized grouping in Grenada for a while. So we want to reconstitute the local alumni association, bringing together the old boys and old girls. So Friday's activity, as we call it, is an after-work line for old boys, old girls.
Right.
Come back home.
Okay.
Come to GBSS. On arrival, you are going to register. So we get your name, we get what you're involved in currently, your profession, your address, your email address, your telephone. So we could start to put that network together and to be able to pull all of these local people together, that we could form the local association. And we could take it from there in terms of beginning that plan for that grand celebration next year, February, please God.
140 years. Is this the longest serving educational institution on island?
I think the only person that could compete with us is the St. Joseph's Convent.
Wow.
When it comes to the education of boys, we're definitely the leaders.
Okay. McDonald College is always a better school, but that's.
At the north, yes. My comrade Carl Andal would be happy to hear you say that. So from the perspective of the north, yes. And the reality is that across Grenada, we have good schools.
Of course,
we have good schools. We have our challenges, but we have good schools.
From an infrastructural standpoint, our infrastructure could be improved, but making comparisons throughout the region. I've been to quite a few countries, and the systems in Trinidad, we complain of our students here, but if you take a trip down to Trinidad and you see the deportment of students, Grenada is really, and hence the reason why sometimes I always endorse Sylvan McIntyre when he says that yes, we have an upsurge in crime in Grenada, but Grenada is still. You go to Trinidad, you go to Barbados, don't talk about Jamaica and those places, the level of crime there. One instance of crime is one too many. But in comparison, in the global market in which we operate now, Grenada is still, as my father would say, I'll go out of good English, Grenada is still the bestest place in the world.
We are, but we have to recognize this, and as much as possible try to preserve it.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the things that brings that uniqueness to Grenada.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't lose it. We have the influences in the school system of what is happening in Trinidad, particularly through the music and so on.
Did you hear the news this morning with Jamaican reggae star George Nooks? He's blaming the Jamaican entertainers for the upsurge of violence, especially in schools in Jamaica. He said the content, the lyrical content is modern music, he called it.
Precisely. Now, if you go back in Grenada a few years ago, when Movado was the man on the scene, and the type of lyrics that Movado brought to the airwaves, you saw that trickle down throughout the region.
Yeah.
So at that point, Jamaica was leading it. We look now at what is happening coming out of Trinidad.
Right? And the strange thing, the strange thing about it is the Jamaican, the so-called disruptive lyrics, it's proliferating into our region, but they're banned on Jamaican radio stations.
That's it.
You understand? And as I was saying this morning, the lyrics that some of the artists portray, their lifestyle is so far from it. There's a popular song that Hit and Run. That song that's one of my partner favorite song, Peck. He loves this Hit and Run song. And I'm certain that the singer of that song, I don't even know who the singer is because I don't listen to this kind of music. I'm certain that her lifestyle is not a hit and runner.
Nothing
you
like
understand?
That.
So
nothing like that.
The people have to be conscious of that. But again, in the interest of time, I want you to once again invite your past pupils of the Grenada Boys Secondary School to that noble function that you're having on Friday.
So the call is going out to all old boys, old girls. Listen, we'll be having some specials on Friday evening. We're looking to see who will be the youngest old boy.
I like that.
On the campus. We're looking for the oldest old boy on the campus. Okay. We're looking to see which year we'll have the most boys. So it's an opportunity for boys and girls to call up their classmates. Listen, we're going to GBSS.
Okay.
Right? So we're inviting you to come out. We are going to have some drinks. We're going to have Tanya log. I know people looking for that, and an old boy is preparing that.
Okay.
When you hear about sculpture blend, that's an old boy's log.
Okay.
Right? We would have waters. Manish waters, Lambi waters, barbecue, and of course we'll be playing some games. You had Mr. Eamon talking about chess.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a chess player, come warm up the place for that competition that coming this week.
And they will be there.
They will be at the
Friday,
GBSS.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
Yes. So we're promoting that. Education at GBSS is a holistic process. Okay. So old boys, old girls come out. We will begin at 4 and we have permission to go up to about 10. So you'll have sufficient time to come register and of course network with other old boys, old girls, that people that you may not have even known are old boys and old girls of the GBSS, but come out. We want this to happen because remember, you cannot afford to be a slacker. Yeah. And we need you, we need your support, we need you to spread what we call, Innocent, the GBSS-ness.
Okay.
The current students need to be able to identify with students of the past. We need to be mentoring them, we need to coach them. When we see them on the road, we need to be talking to them, encouraging, listen, you're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah. Hey, you're a GBSS boy. We don't do
That's
this.
right, we don't do this. This is not the way we do it. Right? Now, if we get more of that, not just for GBSS, but across the country,
sort of mentorship kind of
mentorship, right? We'll be able to manage better some of these negatives that we see coming out of our schoolboys and girls.
Okay. Well, Mr. James, thank you for dropping by. Once I'm here, you're always welcome here. Maybe now and then you could come and host with me a morning. Give your wife my wife.
That's not a bad option.
No, it's not.
She's listening to us.
Of course.
You know she. I mean, apart from me, you're her favorite guy.
Morning, wifey. Have a good day. And Kenny, all the best. I'm going to keep promoting that thing for you for Friday. And
much appreciated.
At the 140th anniversary coming up, we have some promotion.
We have some promotion to do.
All right. Folks, I've been speaking with Mr. Kenny James, the principal of the Grenada Boys Secondary School, inviting all past students to function there this Friday. It starts at 4 o'clock. This is a way to, reconnect with your school and be a part of the school's development, continued development. We take a break. When I come back, the hot topic this morning, and let me tell you off the bat, we are forgoing the BBC this morning because I need to give Nawasa some time. So we'll do Nawasa from 7:45 to 8:15. So BBC fans, we'll omit the BBC at 8 o'clock this morning so that you can have your conversation with Nawasa. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Coming up, Barbados is heating up with enhanced attractions and hotel properties. World Cup cricket's touching down in the Caribbean. And Trinidad and Tobago is ready in the food department. A year's worth of beaches and more. We're talking about the Antigua and Barbuda experience. The rising stars of the track and the pool. Caribbean Village cricket. There's endless action on and off the field. It's all next on this station.
The box we say, yeah. GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Get ready to witness the ultimate showdown of athleticism and adrenaline. The Whitsuntide Games are back, and they're bigger and better than ever before. Join us on Saturday, May 18th at the electrifying Kirani James Athletic Stadium. The action kicks off bright and early with the morning session starting at 9 a.m. sharp. Watch the best local and regional athletes go head-to-head in a battle for glory and supremacy. But wait, the excitement doesn't stop there. As the sun sets, the evening session ignites at 4 p.m., promising even more heart-pounding action and jaw-dropping performances. Secure your spot now. Finish line A, lower and upper, $30. Finish line B, lower and upper, $25. General admission, main stand, $20. Get them now at gotofed.com. Mark your calendars and be there to cheer on your favorites as they strive for victory at the Whitsuntide Games 2024.
much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's 10 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and as I told you, I'm joined this morning, final guest this morning, and as I said, I'm foregoing the BBC this morning so that we can have that conversation with Nawasa. We were so anxiously awaiting to hear from Nawasa. I know you are anxious to hear from them as well. And so this morning, my good friend Jamila Lewis, she is the communication supervisor in Nawasa, is with me together with Mr. Lennon Abraham. He is the district supervisor. And we're here to talk Nawasa. Good morning, lady and gentleman.
Good morning.
Hey, you're
Good morning.
sounding nice, but now, I mean, it's no secret. Grenada is I'm looking for a right word. Grenada is in turmoil as it relates to water. And people, that's why I'm hopeful that sometime next week I can get someone from the Ministry of Agriculture to come along with Nawasa again to give further details as to why we are experiencing this heavy valve regulation, and people are complaining every day. People are saying, I am, this is 7 days I ain't get water in Petersfield and those places, and people are thinking that Nawasa is just wicked and they're charging me a lot of money for water and I am not getting water, so I'm happy that you're here to explain to them. Morning again.
Morning.
Tell the people what is really the cause. I mean, folks would know that it's drought.
Yes.
The dry season is extensive, but how difficult is it for Nawasa at this juncture?
All right, so Nawasa is experiencing a severe drought challenge. And at the moment, we have 18 water systems that are valve regulated. And when we speak of valve regulation, we speak about Nawasa's efforts of, in colloquial term, water rationing, ensuring that there is equitable distribution of the limited reserves that we are getting from our treatment plan for distribution. So, for example, if you are served by the Les Avocats water system that serves consumers from St. David all down to Marion, Monjulu, Richmond Hill in the parish of St. George, because the system is already stressed and we have depleted reserves from that system, we are not able to keep the system open for 24/7, as of course we understand persons would expect that. So what it is Nawasa has to do is ensure that when persons in Richmond Hill has water, Marion do not. And the reason being is that we have to ensure equitable distribution. So this is, in essence, what valve regulation looks at: the distribution of the limited reserves that we have equitably enough that persons can at least have some supply in this crucial dry spell. The situation has been so challenging that effective last Sunday, that's May 12th, we had to enforce restrictions with regards to water use. So it limits persons, Nawasa's water services regulation, SRO 41 of 1993, defines that if you are looking to wash your vehicle with the use of a hose, with water supplied by Nawasa, you are not able to do so. If you want to fill your swimming pool, or if you have a pond on your premises, you are not able to. If you are desirous of irrigating, watering your gardens, your lawns, your grounds, anything, you can't do that because of the severe challenge that we are having. And also it specifies that if there is any activity that, in the opinion of NOASA, requires excessive use of water, and we all know what are some of the realities. You have car wash businesses, etc., etc. That, of course, is the trade. They apply the trade. They are required to use excessive. But because of the period that we are having right now, we are not able to to have those activities that we would consider daily activities that persons in those industries, etc., would have to go through. We do get that, but we are severely challenged. Mr. Abraham will tell you that his team in the transmission and distribution department, maybe that's the most calls, the most response they would ever have to respond to a customer in this trying time. The operation of our water truck is stretched so far that we have to develop partnerships with SGU and the private tank operators to have water distributed to homeowners as well as businesses. But the reality is, as it is right now, 18 water systems are severely stressed. Yesterday, when we saw rain, I was so happy because, it sets the tone for there is a possibility. Yeah. But the reality is that today there is no rain. So we are not better off yesterday than we are today because that's our firm reality. So, we do understand the challenge that persons are having, but all we're asking for in this particular season is to be mindful of how you use the supply. When you waste lower down, persons on elevation are highly challenged. So we're just asking for persons to comply, of course, with the restrictions and, to just ensure that you conserve and you manage the supply that you have.
Mr. Abraham, the distribution man, how challenging a task is it for you now? There are so many people call here on a daily basis and offering advices. We have so much water running, all the rivers running to the sea. Grenada doesn't have a shortage of water and so forth. Explain this for me.
Okay, good morning once again. The difficulty that we have, or I have, first of all, is the phone calls. So it seems like 90% of the south of the island have my phone number.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Calls start like about after 5 in the morning, and it would last until they don't see the water truck. As long as the truck is outside, my phone will be ringing. So that's challenge number one. Challenge number two. Challenge number one is the scarcity of water.
Yeah. Okay.
And trying to please everybody at the same time is a difficult task because it would never happen with limited resources.
But is it a case where we really have limited water resources, or NAWASA's ability to treat and supply? Because one of the concerns, I looked at the Grenada Lake in a photo and it's low.
Yes.
Even the lake is low. Mm-hmm. But we have quite a number of rivers that flow. Yeah, the capacity would drop at times, but we still have water running. So is it a case that NAWASA is unable at the moment to really treat the capacity of water that is required to ensure that we have water at all times, or is what's the case there?
If I were to say that we have sufficient water, we don't have the infrastructure in place. For example, you have Peggy's Whim. Mm-hmm. They're actually overflowing with water, right? Okay. Whereas you look at Annandale is more or less dry. The lake supplies Annandale with water. The lake is down. So if we have that infrastructure to take water from one system and carry it down, especially to the south, maybe now we might be able to say that we have sufficient water.
So water is not scarce is the ability to get it to the customers that is the problem.
That could be, but I don't want to fully say that because the truth is the demand, especially in the south, is high.
Okay.
So maybe if you take water from one system to bring, you maybe just be spreading the problem.
Yes.
Right. So, but we can cushion if we have the infrastructure in place to have all the system to link together to bring the water, especially to the south of the island. We might be able to cushion the problem, but not necessarily solve the problem.
Okay. It's scary, yeah? Because for those of us who pay attention to world news and so forth, the climate is really getting worse. Our climatic conditions are really getting worse, and it definitely will exacerbate that problem that we're having.
Definitely.
So how do we go forward?
The reality, and I'm just going to piggyback on what Mr. Abraham said. We always say that Grenada is a water-rich country, and we believe so. The reality is that there are multiple users of the river. So Nawasa dams the water from the river at a point where there is limited or no human intrusion. But of course, lower downstream, there are the farmers and there are homeowners or consumers who utilize water for that specified period. The reality is that, one, we do have an aged infrastructure that Nawasa is at the moment making efforts to have improvements. So, for example, what Grenada needs is not just treated water, we need raw water supply. So, for example, when we are in the rainy season, when there is an abundance of rain, because Nawasa does not have the storage capacity that is required, what happens? The water overflows the dam, goes into the treatment plant, gets treated, then goes into the storage tank for distribution. But a lot of water just goes downstream. Once we are able to have raw water storage, what happens is that water goes into a storage tank, being held there for use when required. And that is what the G-Cruise project is working to achieve. So we will be having over 10 water storage tanks stationed at various locations and highly focusing on challenge areas. So we know there is the Les Avocats, there is Marabou, Tufton Hall, Peggy's Whim, it also serves areas like Tivoli. So there are going to be water storage tanks that Nawasa will be constructing or erecting, should I say, in critical areas. We have Montrouge, the Limes, Gonkwai. That's the south of the island. So we actually have last week we received the second shipment of those storage tanks. The base is actually being done for Tufton Hall at the moment. We are also upgrading the pipeline infrastructure because the reality is that our infrastructure is aged.
Yeah.
So through funding of the G-Cruise, we are able to make advancement in that area. So the reality is that you would not see the effect of the Green Climate funded project in this dry season. But at least in 2025-2026, when we do have that 500,000 gallon storage tank that will be storing raw water, untreated water, then it would make life a lot easier. But one of our greatest challenge is that, you obviously, one of the things that person always say, why Nawasa does not have bigger dams and etc. You have to consider that you have to have land space for that. The critical areas where you are requiring water, do we have adequate land space that can hold 100,000 storage capacity? The reality is no. But with the G-Cruise project, we are targeting areas that are highly critically challenged, and we will be having raw water storage available. So when there is a season like what we're having now, we're starting off better than we would have started, because instead of having a point of zero with no storage, we will be having at least 500,000 gallon storage in some cases.
We do have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Well, I listened to the lady, and for somewhat, I don't agree with her. And for one of the reasons for that is, okay, I left Grenada in 1974 and came back here in 1990 and invested. And you say Nawasa saying the same thing over and over and over. Now, who owns Grenada and who owns Nawasa? The lady, she just made a statement about land space. If the government need land space for development of the country, they have the right and the privilege to acquire it from you. So I don't understand what you say about every year we have so many rainfalls and water go down to the river and goes down the river, goes down to the sea. If you put a catchment point in nearly every village in Grenada, we wouldn't have water problem in Grenada. People come to Grenada and invest. Are you saying that to Nawasa is saying, oh, we don't have catchment? Since I left Grenada, they should have put systems in place for the development of the country. So coming now and saying 2024, oh, we don't have this and we don't this, is a waste of time. Whoever running Nawasa is not doing the homework. So all I could say is, personally, Nawasa need to get the act together. I mean, it's unfortunate that in this day and age, we have people who go into work, the children have to go to school, and they can't go to school because they're in water. Nawasa only do better than that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, caller. All right. I know you, Jamila. I know your back is broad. You come from an area. You come from an area where we're tough, but please do not take it personal. People are hurting. Right? The reality is that people are really hurting. We have someone who's trying to reach us via our WhatsApp platform. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent, and good morning. I'm the representative of the WhatsApp.
Welcome.
I'm calling from the Bocas. For the past month, we have no clean water in our home. We were promised that the truck will come and put up water, but up to now, we have no water. We cannot wash, and everything is piling up there. So please, we need the help of Nawasa to get some water. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
All right. So, with regards to the Bocas, we do have a valve regulation schedule that we implemented for that community. Of course, we always tell persons that even though the schedule is in place, the reality is that if there is not sufficient, supply available when it is that we are about to reopen, then of course we would not be able to open. But I do know that the water truck has been operating in the Bocas area. I recall recently a customer said to me, she said, well, yes, the water came. My neighbor told me the water was busting the pipe, but I was not home. Her greatest challenge is that she does not have storage. So even when the water supply comes through the pipe, then she's not home. She has no access to a water storage tank that can capture that water that runs through the line. So I know that is one of our greatest challenges that we're having. And the reality is that we need persons to be mindful of their personal responsibility as well in terms of having storage facilities that are able to have at least a 3-day supply. Mr. Abraham, would speak more to that area in terms of the distribution for the Bocas community.
Okay. I think the problem with the Bocas, there are some high points in the Bocas.
Where exactly is the Bocas? Where is that?
That's after Andal supermarket. You make that. You make that right turn going upwards. Yeah.
Okay. That could take you back to Monjalo.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay. So one of the problem is with the Bocas, there are hills and the roads very narrow. You have about 3 major hills, very narrow roads. All our truck drivers are not the same. There is some level of competence. Some will be better than some. Some wouldn't trust to go, so we don't risk it. right? So you may have customers in that area that would suffer as a result. The water pressure may not reach to them. The water may not reach to them because of pressure and the challenge of the narrow roads. So, given the fact that you may have a driver who is much more competent, he might be elsewhere. It is difficult then to serve the people in that little road. Again, you have traffic, vehicle parking, some of them on the side. Those guys come in there sometime in the night. So when you park, they cannot pass. So these are the little challenges that we have, and it creates major problem for the people on the high points.
Okay. It's established now that upgrade is the key word. Upgrading the system. All right. The G Cruise project, does it accommodate that level of upgrading?
Right. So there is the construction of water storage tanks. So we're going to have over, I think it's about 16 water storage tanks in critical areas throughout Grenada, including Carriacou. And then we also have the upgrading or the replacement of the supply distribution network. So what is happening now is that, I don't know, Innocent, you're still in the country. You are?
Yeah, I'm in Grenada.
Countryside.
I'm in St. David.
You're in St. David.
Yes.
Because persons, Lennon says the best parish. I would say St. Andrew.
No, St. Andrews is the best parish.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what is happening now? We actually, under the GCRUS project, we are running over 27,000 meters of pipes from the Maribor water treatment plant right on to Tivoli. So we are upgrading the distribution network because, as I've mentioned, we do have an age distribution network. And once you have an age distribution network, you're going to have the frequency of leaks along the network. And so it's like you're consistently patching. A pipe breaks that area, we remove it, replace it. And then it breaks in the next area, remove, replace. But now we're having the funding whereby we are able to upgrade the distribution network. We are doing that. So if you are in the Gramborough area now, you would realize that the roads are dug. Contractor Kenny's trucking is working on this project. And we're also doing the Tufton Hall Road as well. We're upgrading the distribution network so that we can be able to supply the Tufton Hall water system. So, of course, as you're right, upgrade, replacement, this is what the G-Cruise project, it's all about building resiliency. You understand? So resiliency in terms of the distribution network, but also in the storage capacity. And I do understand the callers, what NAWASA needs is infrastructure upgrade, and that is what the GCRUS project and also the UK Safe project, which will be looking to do the replacement of the lines from Sendall Tunnel right onto Point Salines. And then you're also going to have the streamlining of getting the water from the Concord water supply system to the town and having given Annandale and the other areas, in additional leeway, should we say, to serve other communities that are more stressed. Okay. So yes, we do need an upgrade, and that is what the G-Cruise and the UK Safe project will be achieving.
We have a caller via our WhatsApp platform. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
And thank you for your guests explaining the situation. There's such a rule as the law of unintended consequences, and I don't have the statistics, but many years ago, toiletry facilities were basically pit latrine. We have developed to the point that a lot of homes, and again, I don't have the statistic, but maybe the majority of homes now utilize flush toilet, etc. That implies there'll be increased use and need of water. So my question is, I think there'll be a good opportunity that the authorities coordinate with the PDA, etc., to facilitate, to encourage folks to build a personal storage facility when they construct, or even build them after construction per se, and to collect rainwater, for example, from the roof, to be diverted to flushing to store and to use for flushing the toilet, etc. So that will help alleviate the crisis with regard to availability of water. So in that way, the water that Nawasa provide will go mostly for things like for drinking purposes and so on, rather than flushing toilet. So the other thing is, as Nawasa consider the use of desalination. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was one of the questions that I had coming up. What's the possibility of desalination?
Right. So Carriacou and Peter Martinique rely on desalinated supply from Nawasa, because of course there is no rivers, there is no stream, etc. in Carriacou and Peter Martinique. So it works for the sister isle. For Grenada, it is something that we've been hearing over the past few days. Why not consider desalination? And it is something that we could look into. The cost of desalination, however, I can tell you, to operate a desalination plant is not cheap. As of now, of the 167 customers that we have on our system in Carriacou, with a population of 7,000, Grenada is what is keeping Carriacou afloat in terms of operation, because on average, $800 a month collection in water rates, and to operate a desalination system over 10,000 plus a month. It speaks the story of the cost for desalinated supply. But it is something that, of course, that we have not turned a blind eye to in Grenada, and it is something that can be considered. I know recently, my general manager, Mr. Smith, when we met with NEAC, that the National Emergency Advisory Council, one of the things that we requested through NADMA is for the use of portable desalination plants that we can place in critical areas. A desalination plant is something that you always have to have working, because if you use it and then stop, then it always will have its challenges.
And the membrane.
And the membrane, yes. Yeah, so the membrane can become damaged and you're not able. So to maintain and operate a desalination plant for Grenada will be highly expensive. And of course, the reality is that there has to be a shouldering of the cost, and the shouldering of the cost may come with an increase in water rates. That would be a possibility. Okay. In terms of the rainwater harvesting, that's something we have been encouraging, and we're asking persons that if you are able to make that investment, you can do so. And one with regards to the PDA, I know the planning authority has been doing stakeholder consultation, whereby under the G-Cruise project, there's a component of having it mandatory on the PDA to have rainwater harvesting systems. There are different tiers in terms of the size of your house and the capacity you should have, but that is something that is being achieved on the G-Cruise project, and we're hoping that in the not too distant future, that every new construction, they will be
part of the planning.
Part of the planning.
Should
yes.
be.
We're hoping that.
We do have a caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Welcome to the program.
To the Nawasa team. I'm not sure if it's a case where Grenadians were unaware, but on Monday night, beyond the headline, Mr. Smith broke down some of those things beautifully in terms of the inability for us to have bigger dams and the challenges and so associated with it. I mean, if you take all the water out of the river, we're going to have some challenges there as well. He also explained the amount of electricity and power, the inefficiency when it comes to going green, to the running of desalination plants and so forth. So I'm not sure, maybe GBN may need to run the Beyond the Headline program sometime again for people to at least get the information. But I think it was really nicely broken down then. The question I do have, though, with my little bit of farming that I'm doing, is why I am allowed to wash down my vehicle using a bucket, and I cannot use a watering can to keep my cabbages and so alive. So I'm just wondering, because based on what I saw, it says no irrigation, but it is specific when it comes to the washing of vehicles, no hoses. I would prefer my vehicle to be dirty and my babies to be alive. So I'm not sure if, you could shed some light on that. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
All right, so the regulation speaks to no irrigation or watering of gardens, lawns, and grounds with water supplied by NAWASA. And that's the reality. And I do understand where he speaks about not using a hose to wash his vehicle, but we have to. I'm trying to get the best word. When I get the best word, I will tell you. But in essence, you just work with what it is the regulation speaks to. So if it is that you have you get water from the rain, if rains fall yesterday, and you were able to capture some water and you could use that water to water your garden, that's okay. What we don't want is that you have an irrigation system, and you're going around and around, and that is water supplied by NAWASA. So this is what the regulation speaks to. It is clear. So there is no differentiation to say, okay, well, you can't do that. What we're saying that you can use a bucket to wash your vehicle. If you want to do that, don't use a hose. If you believe that you have a cup and you want to wet your plants, that's okay. That's okay. We're not saying that you can't wet your plants, but we're saying don't use excessive amount of water water supplied by NAWASA in order to do that.
I am of the opinion as we wrap up, I said we would have gone up to 8:15. It's 8:20. All right. I am of the opinion that the key to that, as with everything else, is education. People have to get to understand the reality of things. I remember as a schoolboy, when the rain season, there are days you can't go to school because there's so much rain. We don't have that anymore. All right? The rains are not coming as they used to. True. Our water supply, whether we want to believe it or not. But if you're observant enough, you would see the water marks in your rivers. You know that the supply is lower than it used to be. You look at the Paradise River. At one point, a former parliamentarian said he could get the banana boat to come up Paradise River. That can't happen anymore. The volume has dropped significantly. You look at the rivers up. You all have a plant a supply up there, Mount Agnes area.
Yes.
Right? The people up there would tell you that the supply of water in the river is much lower than it used to be. So, in as much as, yes, people expect we're paying with money to NAWASA, so NAWASA has to provide the water for us. But people have to get a firm appreciation to the fact that NAWASA doesn't control the water. They can only distribute what they can distribute. And if it's not there, it's not there. So we really have to, I mean, people, I too sometimes, I know of a place this morning when they turn on the shower to bathe, to go to work, no water. You understand? People will get problems with that, because that's the reality. But if people get to understand the whole process of it, what the reality is, that water is getting scarcer. Yes. And as individuals, we have our personal responsibility to ensure that we do our part. Building the houses with the cisterns and them, it could be so that we can store. I look at the concept in Carriacou, and they turn on the cistern, they don't have water, and you understand what I'm saying? So I think it's individualistic. Yes. People have to get to that point where they understand that my ability to get water is partially dependent on my actions.
Yes.
Education is it. So I think NAWASA really needs to go on an education drive, because you continue to get beat up.
Yeah.
Because when somebody open their pipe and they know they're paying their water bill and they can't get the water, the easiest thing to do is to blame the supplier or the provider of the water. But if people get to understand that NAWASA cannot give me what they don't have.
But I think it's a message that we've been preaching for the years. The reality, and I think our biggest challenge is that persons don't have storage. So we always tell persons to have water for at least 3 days. 3 days water supply equates to you just having a water storage tank. So it means you gauge the needs of your family. So you have a family of 3. Based on your needs that every 3 days I would be getting water in the tap. Then you utilize the water storage, the water stored in the tank until in the 3 days it will be replenished. But that is the greatest challenge we have. It's not that persons are not getting. Yeah, there are some areas that, for whatever reason, based on elevation and how the system shortfalls, they are not able to get. But the 90% of the persons are getting a supply at some point. The reality is that they do not have adequate storage. And it is something that we have been preaching for my 21 years in Nawasa, and
Jamila, you're 21 years. You're 21 years old
and
already.
I think Lennon is a grandfather because it's many moons.
Don't say.
Look at this.
It's many moons before.
Jamila, I remember you just the other day in your little convent skirt.
I know.
Wow.
But for 21 years, my first pipeline news program at that time, it was not Waterwise, it was pipeline news, was to tell persons you need to have storage. Okay. And I remember it was very clear. Have water for 3 days in clean, covered containers. My people used to joke when they say me, this call me clean, covered containers because it is something that I have preached and many persons before me have, because when I came, that is where I got it. It was there already established in Nawasa. This is our operating. We say we want persons to have at least storage for 3 days and always store in clean, covered containers because the public health aspect you have to consider. But what we are continuing to implore on persons is the need for storage. Persons need to make it their personal responsibility. Yes, Nawasa is in a service industry. We are required to provide you with water. But if we don't have water to provide, if there is no rain that the systems, the dams can be adequately replenished, we would be speaking the same story in another dry season. Of course, as I've mentioned, Nawasa is doing projects that will be able to make a difference. You would not see the realization at the end of 2024. You may not see it or feel it in full effect in 2025. But how can you help? Don't take yourself out of the responsibility aspect, but how can you help is by acquiring a water storage tank. If you can only afford a 200-gallon storage tank, do so. 200 gallon is better than not having, because when water comes in the pipe and you are not home, or if the water comes you're on a high elevation and the water comes at 2 a.m. in the morning, you don't have to get up. A lady was a message to me, I had to get up 2 o'clock and I had to wash, and she fall asleep on herself. And I'm saying, no, she never. I said, but if you had a tank, you know what happens? Yeah. The water comes, you don't even know. When you get up in the morning and the water is not there, you have the use of water. So we continue to just ask persons. We know the challenge, and I live in a water-stressed community. I live in Marianne. I get water twice a week. But what makes a difference for me? I have a storage tank. So make it, just make it be part of your way of life. And of course, manage your supply, because you don't have water and then you just think that you can waste it. The restrictions are in place. Of course, we are working with the Royal Grenada Police Force for the enforcement of the restriction. If a person is found to be not in compliance, they can be fined $500 and in default, 1 month imprisonment. And I want to say something. Persons have the mindset that, okay, well, you catch me once, I pay $500, but if they catch you 10 times, multiply 10 by 5 and multiply 1 month by 10. Because that is what could be enforced. So we just want persons, and we will continue to educate. We will continue to, to speak to the need for storage, but we also want to speak to the need for conservation. And Nawasa will and continue to do its part to meet your needs.
Mr. Ibrahim, in wrapping up, what would you like to tell our audiences?
Yes, I'm happy to have the opportunity to engage the people of Grenada. And I noticed something that is really pressing, that need urgent attention, and that is to do with the plumbing in your house, right? What we realize I would have realized that too. Quite a number of folks realize it too, as well. The non-return valve that should be placed on the entrance of, let me say, to your property near your meter, a lot of the times it is not working properly. So you ask NAWASA, you've been begging for that water. We distribute that water to you, and overnight your tank is empty because all the water run back out on the mains.
Okay.
Right? So please get a plumber. Make sure that there is a reversible joint close to your no-return valve, so you could you break that line, and you would see whether or not that the water is coming back in the opposite direction now. So with that, you know your valve is not holding properly, and you repair it, or you close in the meantime. But it's hard to know that you've been waiting for water for all this long time.
And it comes and then it goes.
Comes and it just goes.
Okay.
All right. So once again, thank you, and I trust that the people in Grenada who are listening, who are watching, know that we care quite a bit about them. I actually have maybe sleepless nights because just thinking about I wasn't able to deliver the water to this person today, and I promised them, and it's difficult, that tomorrow you say I would not be in that area, so it make it more challenging. Okay. But just be patient, and we are there. We're trying our best.
Jamila, Mr. Abraham, thank you all for dropping by, and as I said, I would make all efforts to get someone from the Ministry of Agriculture to come back sometime next week with NAWASA, so they could really get people to understand that yes, NAWASA has their part to play, but it's not all the blame on NAWASA.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't feel like taking for all, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Right, and I want to add, and I'm very happy, and we had yesterday, there actually is a climate workshop that is taking place between G-Crews and the Media Workers Association, and one of the things that I'm very happy is that, we told them yesterday, we do understand that I don't expect you to be in NAWASA's PR, but we expect you to also disseminate the information once you know it. Yeah. So don't just say, okay, well, a caller calls and say, oh, NAWASA ain't give water, NAWASA, and you know better. You understand? Help us share. This is where...
Jamila, have you been listening to me?
Yes! And the reason why I'm saying this is, and that's where I was going to wrap up, to say I applaud you. Yeah. Because it is something that I listen to your programs on the morning, because obviously we listen to hear the comments on how we can better help our customers. And that's one of the things that I notice that you do. Yeah. And it's, it is commendable, and we thank you. And, we want other persons as well. Okay. I mean, when we had to get whistleblowers, as they say, we all take it. But we take it because we listen. When I finish, I go back and I listen. I take note. I'm going to read all the comments, what are coming, and then we bring it to the team and we say, this is what was raised. How can we better? And that is how we operate. So thank you, Innocent, and thank you, Grenada. Just bear with us.
Yeah,
let us pray for the rain.
We'll get it right. Folks, an extended version of the conversation this morning, but I thought it was very timely and pertinent that we have that conversation with NAWASA. And like I said, I will do my best to get someone from the Ministry of Agriculture, somewhere with the environment and so forth, to come and explain further to us this real situation with our water scarcity. Thank you, Ms. Jamila Lewis and Mr. Lennon Abraham, representing NAWASA this morning, and I do wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay. Folks, that's it for the program. I'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.